Welcome to the Fearful Fright series, where we will be reading with our favorite green ghoul, Grimmer. Now sit back and enjoy this twisted tale. Today our story is called Bayou Witch. It is said, somewhere down in Louisiana, there's a witch that lives in the bayou. She was known as the Bayou Witch. It is said down in Louisiana, if you have enough money, this Bayou Witch would cast all sorts of spells on you. Spells for love and money, fame and success. If you wanted to be a model overnight, she would make you the most beautiful person anyone's ever seen. But if you didn't have enough money to offer the Bayou Witch, she would make you disappear. Just for bothering her. The old witch was known to live in a hole in the bottom of the swamp. And the only way you could get this Bayou Witch to come out of her hole was by knocking on a tree 3 times, while saying, "Witch in the bayou, come out, so I can find you." And if you were at the right part of the swamp, you will find her, or she would find you. Well, one day, the authorities caught wind of this witch, and decided to go check it out, to see if there was any truth behind this whole Bayou Witch story. Well, 50 people came up missing in 1 month, and they had no other leads. So they thought maybe there was some truth to this Bayou Witch. Except the authorities thought there was a logical explanation behind the whole thing. Maybe a crazy serial killer in the swamp or something. One of the officer's best friends was among the 50 that were missing, and he took it personal. Now, this Officer Baggins' friend was a great big fella named Jim. All he did was eat gumbo and drink beer all day. The man had to have been at least 400 pounds. And there's no way he could have went all the way out there in that bayou all by himself. He told the other officers. He had to have been forced out there. Officer Baggins said, they all went out to there in that bayou with a mob, going to try to make sense to all these disappearances. They decided one way or another, they would get to the bottom of this whole Bayou Witch story. Now they all made their way out there, with all their guns, and got on their airboats. Now these officers searched for hours and hours, island after island, finding nothing. One of Officer Baggins' friends said, "Hey man, didn't they say something about knocking on a tree 3 times, and saying something? And that's how this Bayou Witch was supposed to come out supposedly." "Yeah, but I don't believe in none of that voodoo," Officer Baggins said. But after about 2 more hours of searching endlessly, Officer Baggins and his department decided to give it a try anyways, against their better judgment. So they parked on an island, and found a tree. "All right, who's gonna do it?" said Officer Baggins. "I'm not gonna be the one to look dumb." "I'll do it," said another officer. Then started the supposed ritual. He knocked on the tree 3 times, and said, "Witch in the bayou, come out, so I can find you." Just then the swamp started making a whirlpool, and gators started gathering the entire island, like they were afraid of whatever was coming. And that made Officer Baggins and the other officers scared too. Soon a lady's head popped out of the water. The officers couldn't believe their eyes. "What do you want? And what do you offer? Who are you? And where did you come from?" said Officer Baggins. The witch said again, "What do you want? And what do you offer?" Then one of the other officers pointed his gun at the witch, and commanded the witch to keep her hands up. The witch just looked at the officer and smiled. The officer then proceeded to start slowly pointing the gun to his own head. He just looked at the witch in disbelief. "Hey, cut it out," he said. "What are you doing to me?" Then through the witch's control, pulled the trigger. All the other officers including Officer Baggins pulled out their guns, and began pointing it at the witch. She just stood there grinning. They all uncontrollably proceeded to point their guns at one another. And one by one, they started pulling the trigger. As Officer Baggins stood there wondering why he hasn't been shot yet, he slowly looked up at the witch, and she said to him, "I speared you because you've come for something. What do you want? And what do you offer?" I've came here looking for my friend Jim. And the other missing people. What do you offer? The witch said. I don't have anything to offer, Officer Baggins said. The witch smiled at him. And slowly went back into the swamp. The officer tried to run back to the airboat. But felt no matter how hard he tried. He could not move. As he looked around, he could see the gators that had swam ashore, were now eating the other officers. As all he could do was watch. Officer Baggins noticed a large gator. Larger than all the other gators by far, slowly made his way towards him. To eat him. A lot of people go missing down in the bayou. And they say the swamp gets too populated with gators. And now and then, they have to go hunt these gators. To keep their population under control.